Where are the other drugs going? Where are the other drugs going? What is up, Batarangs? How's it going? My name is BobaTalks. Welcome to a new The Batman video. Today I thought we would just talk a little bit and, let's talk and update ourselves on the whole Batman Matthew Reeves situation, because I'm sure you've heard at some point in the recent past or present or maybe even future, that there's been a few misconceptions going around about this film. Like, as soon as Matthew Reeves said year one, everyone's like, oh my god, the Batman film's going to be all about year one. We don't want that again. Oh my god, we already saw kind of this in Batman Begins. What's going on? So let's talk about that, and let's talk about some other updates that he gave us along the way. But if you're brand new to this channel, why not subscribe for more, I guess, DC-esque kind of videos just like this? And if you do go on to enjoy it, it'd be so very, very awesome of you if you'd hit that like button, as it really does show your support for the channel. As some of you may know, my whole stance on the DCU is like shambled right now. I really wasn't a huge fan of it after Justice League. Shazam and Aquaman, mainly Shazam, really caught my eye and restored a little bit of my faith. And, as far as the Batman movie, or just anything to do with Ben Affleck and the Batman, he's my favorite character in like all of DC Comics, but I've never been driven to a whole point where with this movie, with this actor, it's just been like, will he, won't he, will he, won't he, will this happen, will the movie, it kind of drives me to the point of disinterest. It's desensitized me to the point of, I don't even care anymore. Freaking recast him if you have to. And I know that kind of sounds really blunt, it's like, what are you on about? And trust me, I love Ben Affleck's Batman, but I just got tired of the whole, will this effing movie happen, when it, all that bullshit, really. But now we're finally getting somewhere. It's been kind of quiet for a little bit, and there's been an update every now and again. Matthew Reeves has kind of been on the helm of this film, obviously, as he's directing it. But the thing is, the thing that's still up in the air is, is Ben Affleck actually doing this movie? Is he going to be in it in just one part? And there's going to be another Batman actor, and you may be thinking, how the hell is that going to work? We will talk about that in a second, because we got some new information from Matthew Reeves. But let's first talk about the script and maybe when it could even start filming. Matthew Reeves says that we're working on getting our draft in the next couple of weeks. Right now, my head is totally into the script. Right now, I'm going to be leaving here to go back to work on the script, and if it goes to plan, they could be in front of cameras by this time next year. Though, yes, we've heard that before. What we've talked about is hopefully in the spring or early summer, something like that. So let's please hope that this is happening. Things are kind of finally starting to happen for the Flash movie. Is the Batman finally possibly going to be in front of cameras next year, like early next year? That would be amazing. I think they could do great things with the Batman now. We've seen how brilliant he has been in the DCEU. Now, even though I really wasn't a big fan of Justice League, I still think the Batman that they've got on the big screen is very good. It's just been a shame that the whole DCEU, everything just got caught up in it as if it's this tornado heading towards a freaking, I don't know, wreck. It's just going to dissipate into nothingness maybe. But finally, I feel like they're kind of calmly undoing that tornado with movies like Shazam, with movies like that came out like Wonder Woman. And the future kind of looks stable. I wouldn't say mega bright, but it looks stable. And hopefully the Batman with Matthew Reeves, with what he's saying here, with how he's fully, really committed to it, and it could be in front of, film cameras and everything like that as early as spring next year. That makes me a bit more optimistic, though, guys, we have heard this before, kinda, so. Now, the thing is, we might be doing a bit of a curveball here, but apparently when asked about, would Ben Affleck still be the Batman, in this movie, he was kind of a bit like, Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, even though he's got what he said, and I'll go over that in a second, it still makes me think, how can you not just freaking decide what is going on with this goddamn freaking movie? How is it taking years and years and years? I think it's been like 3 years since all of this shite has been going on. I don't know. I guess before I say any more, let's read out what Matthew Reeves had to say. And this is interesting anyway for a bit of speculation in terms of what they could actually be doing with the first Batman movie. Reeves wouldn't clarify on the casting rumors, which point to a younger actor taking over the title role in Affleck's stead, telling the outlet that there are ways in which all of this connects to DC, to the DC universe as well. We're one piece of many pieces, so I don't want to comment on that, except to say that I'm focused very specifically on this aspect of the DC world. So what he's saying here, and from what I gather, is that this is all still very much so connected to the DC universe, and it's very much so happening. But what I think could be happening is that if there's like rumors of like, you know, younger actors being cast and other things like that, and how, you know, there are ways that in which all of this connects to DC, to the DC universe, we're one of many pieces, and I don't want to say too much about that, you know, except that this is very much so a part of Worlds of DC. I think that what could be happening with this movie is that it will be set maybe towards the beginning of Batman's career. We could have Ben Affleck, because if he doesn't want to be the whole big, you know, committed role of the Batman, they could have him come in recollecting some memories with freaking Alfred over a freaking cup of tea that Alfred brings him in the Batcave. And then obviously we have the film of a younger Affleck in the movie. Now, I'm not talking about de-aging really. You never know. If Ben Affleck really wants to do that, they could maybe do something like that, but I don't know how well that would work. But, you know, I could really imagine a recasting. I really, really could. Set maybe 2 or 3 years into the Batman's career. And then maybe, you know, if we do have a Ben Affleck, you know, talking or commentating over a certain point, that would be cool. They could tell a cool movie with that. And the fact that this is still all even up in the air with Ben Affleck, you know, and the fact that he can't say, yeah, he's doing this movie, they're obviously looking at what else they can do, you know, with younger actors, probably different stories of the Batman in a different time earlier on. It just makes sense, unless they're going to put this in the DC Dark / Black / Elseworlds universe, which he doesn't say it's going to be. He says it's very much so a part and connected to the DC universe. Well then, you know, without repeating myself too much more, I think that they are going to be looking at a different actor potentially for a different period of Ben Affleck's Batman's career. I'd love to know what you guys think about that, but we'll get to the questions at the end. Okay, and lastly, everyone, and I've got a few messages about this for me to make a video about. Matthew Reeves made some comments about his Batman movie, and he mentioned like Year One, you know, the comic Year One, Batman Year One, as a reference point or something like that. But as soon as he said that, every outlet or news reporter, blah, 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 was just like, the Batman is going to be an adaptation of Year One. It's going to be based on Year One, blah, 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 blah. No. He's gone back and actually backtracked this information and says even that the film is hardly going to be an origin tale at all, so I'll go over what he says here. Finally, Reeves addressed a rumor that the Batman was based on Frank Miller's celebrated Batman Year One, which was famously a significant influence for Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. In fact, Reeves says it's not an origin tale at all. We're not doing any particular comic, Reeves said. Year One is one of the many comic books that I love. We are definitely not doing Year One. It's just exciting to be focused very specifically on a tale that is defining for him and very personal to him. Obviously, we are not doing an origin tale or anything like that. We are doing a story that is definitively Batman though, and trying to tell a story that is emotional and yet is really about him being the world's greatest detective and all the things that's for me, since I was a kid, made me love Batman. And you know what? That really does excite me. So to say about the Year One rumors, that's all there is to say about it. He mentioned it in a previous kind of interview, and then everyone was like, this movie's going to be an origin story. It's going to be like, you know, kind of the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins kind of Year One-y vibes that they went with this again. It's like, I feel like Batman is almost becoming an Uncle Ben origin story, and I think that's what they don't want to do. In a comparison, in a way, to Spider-Man Homecoming, I think that's exactly what they need to do with Matthew Reeves' Batman movie. I think even, you know, with what they've done in the DCU, with how we still saw that, we do not need to see it again. Have Batman 2 or 3 years into his career, that would be very interesting. He's still not a fully flipping-fledged 10-year veteran Batman or anything like that. He would still have to go up against many of his rogues gallery who he hasn't even come across yet. And what I love about what Matthew Reeves explained here is how it's still going to be a very emotional Batman-driven story. It's not going to be an origin. It's going to be about him. It's going to be about how he's the world's greatest detective. It's going to even be, he spoke of like a noir kind of focus on it. It sounds amazing. It doesn't need to be everything else. It's going to be like almost a character study, I feel, of the Batman with what they're talking about they're doing with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie. I think seeing a very, as he puts it, personal movie and an emotional movie to the Batman just sounds flipping exciting, and I really, really hope that this starts, you know, getting off the training wheels and starts filming early next year, because then finally we know that, oh, this is coming at some point in the next couple of years, not freaking 3 or 4 years from now, because that would just be a disaster. It is very intriguing, as I was talking about earlier, if they're still going to involve Ben Affleck somehow in this. It'd be cool if he is the Batman the whole time, but don't forget that he is portraying a Batman towards the end of his career right now in the DC universe. Now, obviously, I think this isn't going to be an origin tale as he stated, but it's still going to be questionable if they bring Ben Affleck into it. And I don't think they'd de-age him the whole movie. I'm not saying he's a wrinkly bastard or anything like that, but what I'm saying is maybe they should consider a younger casting, and that is the rumors anyway. So it'd be very interesting if even at the end of the film, they still tie it to Ben Affleck by showing him just at the end. Maybe at the beginning, maybe at the end. Maybe they don't show him at all, but they make it very clear that this is still in the DC universe. I'm not sure, guys. I would love to know your thoughts about everything I discussed in today's video. Were you confused about the whole year one situation? Were you believing that the whole movie was going to be another origin for the Batman, which we don't really need? I just feel like, as I mentioned earlier, we can just dive straight into the deep end with Batman and go into a freaking Penguin movie, a Mr. Freeze movie about Batman being a detective all the way throughout, figuring what the hell is going on with his amazing skills, and then going up against a villain who we haven't maybe even seen before. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. Shoot them up. Let's start a discussion. There's just so much to talk about with what Matthew Reeves could be doing with the Batman. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. As I mentioned at the beginning, it just really shows your support for the channel. And if you're brand new, why not subscribe for more Batman videos just like this, I guess. But do check out some of my other ones. Click that card up there to a video that I think you may enjoy. As always, everybody, links are in the description box below. Please do expand that box because you can follow me on Twitter there. If you don't do so already, I recommend doing so to stay a little bit more up to date with me. You can support the channel a bit further on Patreon, and it really does fuel the content that I create on this channel. So thank you so much if you do check that out. Other than that, everyone, there's nothing more for me to say. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.